Good morning and welcome to Miracles on Monday with Mary Ellen. It is the first Monday of 2020. It is the first Monday of this entire decade. So aren't we all blessed to be here today to celebrate the new year and Miracles on Monday with Mary Ellen. Today's topic on Miracles on Monday is perception. And how can you perceive things differently? Now, the dictionary defines perception as the art or faculty of perceiving or apprehending something through the senses or the mind. Now, how many times, I don't know about you, but how many times have your senses or your mind let you down or betrayed you? I know mine have. And I'm going to start with an example that I am sure you're all familiar with. First, I have a glass here. And you can see that according to your perception, it is either half full or half empty, depending on how you see it. And I'm sure you've all seen that before. Now I have another glass here. Now this glass, you're going to say, Mary Ellen, I know that glass is empty, totally empty. Well, you are incorrect. Depending on how you perceive it, this glass is totally full. It's totally full with atoms and molecules and neutrons and protons and electrons. They're just waiting for me to put something in the glass so that I might drink it. Again, it is a perception. Okay, this glass is full, just like the other glass was either half full or half empty. It is all in how you perceive it. Now, when I was studying spiritual principles in Atlanta, and I studied through the Awareness Center in Atlanta, which I still is there in the Windy Hill area of Atlanta, Georgia, I was studying with a spiritualist by the name of Kay. Now, we would go to classes with Pat Zerman during the week, and then we would see Kay like on a one-time basis, okay? And Kay was an enlightened being, and you would know this by being in her presence. And one time I was sitting there and I was listening to Kay speak, and Kay had kind of a rough, gravelly voice, and she was talking about problems being simply perceptions, being misperceptions or perceptions. And so she was talking and talking and talking, and at the end of the talk, I went up to her and I said, Kay, I just don't understand. I mean, I was diagnosed with epilepsy when I was a kid. That's a definite problem. I just was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis right now. I'm kind of in and out of relationships, things like that. And she just stopped and looked at me, and she said, Mary Ellen, the problem is you see a problem. And she said it again. Mary Ellen, the problem is you see a problem. Oh my gosh. I left there. I said, I just wasted hours of my time listening to this lady, and she gives me the problem is that I see a problem, and I just went home and I just couldn't shake it. And I was like, how can she even say that? These are really definite problems. And then all of a sudden, I was sitting in my home, and I just burst out laughing. And I was like, oh my gosh, she's right. The problem is that I see a problem. I can either choose to see it differently, or I can choose to stay stuck in that problematic situation. And that began my true spiritual path. See, perceptions come from love and offer you solutions, whereas misperceptions come from fear, creating more problems and keeping you stuck in what I call your house of unawareness. They keep you stuck, giving you reasons and excuses for not doing and not being the person you're meant to be. Perceptions determine your choices, and choices determine your life. Now we'll be talking more about choices next week on Miracles on Monday. Now I hear people say all the time to me, I can't help thinking this way. I can't help worrying. I can't help being anxious. I don't know how you do it because I can't help. You can help it. You are giving yourself reasons to stay stuck in those societal teachings that you've been taught every time you turn on the news and every time you turn on the TV and every time you open a newspaper. You stay stuck in a fear-based mode. When you change your perceptions, these learned teachings that you've learned throughout your life, you can train your mind to enjoy where you are and what you have right now. Good morning, Kenneth. Thank you so much for being here. Be grateful for what you have instead of exhausting yourself, longing for what you don't have. Now this week, I want to challenge you to look at any problem that you have as a simple misperception. And how can you see it differently? Be quiet with yourself to see what you need to learn. Thank you, Pete. I'm so glad you're here too. Have a great week, and thank you for blessing me with your presence. I am so grateful for all of you. If you've liked this presentation, please share it with your audience. And please share my book, Truth, Taking Responsibility Unleashes True Healing. Until next Monday, when we will be talking about the miracle of choices or choosing differently, I'm Mary Ellen Saganovich, and I wish you a totally blessed week. Thank you very much.